How did you first get into technology and what interests you about it?
Well, I've been a business reporter for the BBC I was a business reporter for the BBC for a long time. And then in the late 1990s, I got really interested in the rise of companies like Google, which were just coming on the scene. So I reported on them as business stories, and I got fascinated by the technology. And about the same time, we got our first really decent home computer. And I just began to realize that technology was going to play an ever more important part in people's lives and in my life. And I was excited to see how that would change.
So currently, what would be like your desert island gadget? What is the one piece of technology you cannot live without?
I can't be seen to back any particular gadget, but what I will say is a mobile phone that's connected to the internet has become absolutely essential to me. And I get nervous if for any reason I'm without my phone or it can't get on the internet and I can't check Twitter. I can't, look at what's going on in the world. So my desert island gadget would be a smartphone of some kind.
So what do you think, what is your opinion on the positives and the negatives of the digital revolution?
Well, the positive side of the digital revolution is it's given us all lots more information, lots of fascinating information, and let us join in the conversation with all sorts of people around the world. The negative side is that some of that conversation goes bad. You get cyberbullying, you get criminals using the internet, you get a lot of people trying to defraud you via security scams. But I think the positives outweigh the negatives, and we've all got to sort of club together to work out how we behave online and behave better and make the most of it.
What do you find is the most annoying thing about technology?
The most annoying thing about technology is when it doesn't work. And when your computer's too slow, or when the network isn't working, and you end up throwing your phone against the wall and then finally you've broken it. That's what I find annoying.
Do you think technology has played a role in increasing childhood obesity?
I don't know about that. I think there are some people who spend too long, perhaps, sat in front of computers or games consoles, but then they used to sit in front of the television instead. So I think childhood obesity is more about whether we get out and exercise enough, and there are lots of other distractions stopping people exercising, and principally about what we eat. And if we eat the wrong stuff, that's when obesity happens.
What's next for technology, especially for mobile phones?
Well, what's next for technology is that everything is going to be on the internet. Not just us, not just our phones, but just about every object. And the way those objects, whether they be cars that are connected to the internet, or food in the supermarket that's got a sticker that actually connects it to the internet, or the dress that you look at in a shop which knows that you're looking at it, that is going to have huge implications. What they are, I'm not clever enough to tell you, but they're going to be big.
How do you think technology could be used more effectively in classrooms and schools and education?
We've had lots of technology coming into schools for the last 20 years, but a lot of it has been wasted money. Electronic whiteboards that are basically the same as old blackboards that there's no kind of interactivity with. So I think what we need to do is perhaps spend less on equipment and more on teaching children, for instance, how to code, how to get involved in computer programming, to understand software perhaps more than giving them hardware which breaks down, which has lots of restrictions around it.
In your opinion, is Edward Snowden a hero or a villain?
I'm a BBC correspondent. We don't have opinions. I think what Edward Snowden has done has been revolutionary in beginning a debate about secrecy and surveillance around the world. It's revealed to us just how much power governments now have to control the internet and to watch everything we do.
Technology allows instant news and multiple sources. As a BBC journalist, how has this impacted on your role as a specialist in the field?
Actually, the last 5 years of social media in particular has completely transformed the way I do my work. I used to have quite a distant relationship with the audience and the people I reported on. Now I use Twitter in particular a vast amount. I've got a huge sort of audience on Twitter that I can go to for advice and for stories, and they come to me with stories. So anytime I've got something I'm interested in, I ask on Twitter, people come back and interact. And I find that great. I find it a really useful way of learning more about the world which I cover.
And finally, is there too much information in the world?
There's far too much information. I get 5,000 emails a minute, or it feels like it sometimes. Yes, there is too much information. We're all beginning to suffer from information overload. Finding strategies to deal with that is increasingly important, but I don't think there's much we can do about it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great interview. Thank you.